Synopsis of the Books of the Bible by J. N. Darby, Genesis chapters 6 through 8. The result of the apostate, man's ruin ending in judgment. Finally, we find power and force here below, the results of the sons of God not keeping their first estate, the apostate, and God's executing judgment instead of any long pleasing with men by the testimony of the Spirit in grace, which has its allowing team. The obedience of faith is the security of the warned remnant, but the principle of degenerated work on in spite of the testimony and workings on the accomplishment of the testimony, it's despised. Men grew worse and worse, and God creation was utterly defiled and filled with violence. The two universal characters of activity without of God. As regarding man, it was now brought out when he was left to himself, for before the flood, save gracious testimony, he was so left that every thought of the heart was only evil continually. God creates and destroys. He calls and repent not. Creation was utterly corrupt, and God destroyed it, whither the breath of life is. And the testimony of these things is gone out everywhere among the heathen. We have here the exact thought, brief accounts of them, so far as needed to show what man was and is, and God's way with them. The way of salvation through the judgment. In the midst of the ruin and judgment, God points out the way of salvation through the judgment. The remnant taught of God profited by it. The flood is brought upon the world of the ungodly. Up to this, though the seed of the woman had been promised, sacrifice brought out, and testimony given, there were no special dealings with God with man. It was man walking before God in wickedness. No calling out, no law, no judgment. The world, man was judged, save Noah and his family, and its deeds were hidden under the overwhelming flood. The judgment of God is accomplished, but he remembers his mercy.